Welcome back, Pokemon fans. My name is Angel of the Night 091, and today I've got an exciting video there for you. If you guys are starting up a YouTube channel, or you're starting a Twitch stream, or you're just trying to make a video for school or anything like that, I'm going to show you guys how to make a video layout, and I'm going to base it based on Pokemon because that's what my channel is. But I'm going to show you how to make the layout, and I'm going to show you how to utilize the layout in Sony Vegas or into the XSplit software. Personally, I don't use OBS. If you guys are looking for OBS tutorials, you're not going to be able to find them here. But this is going to give you a basic idea of how to make the layout and how to use it. It's going to give you the basic principles of the process. So what you're going to need a Photoshop, you're going to need Sony Vegas, or you're going to need XSplit. If you guys don't have those softwares, you're going to want to acquire them in order to do this. Although most people probably will use Adobe Premiere Pro instead of Sony Vegas. I'm very old school. That's what I use. So the first thing you're going to want to do is open up your Photoshop here and go File and New. And this is going to pop up a window here for you. Just give me one sec. I have multiple screens on my computer and it's not capturing it. There we go. So first thing we want to do is we want to make a video layout based on the resolution of 1920 by 1080. And that is your standard resolution size for any HD TV that's in 1080p. If you guys are trying to make something that's 4K or higher, you can still technically use the same resolution, but you're going to run into different resolution conflicts and quality. But 1080p is usually the standard on YouTube anyways. You're not really going to get anything that's 4K really on YouTube or on Twitch yet, so 1920 by 1920 by 1080 is all you're going to need. You're going to want to create a, let's see here. This is a different version than what I usually use, so please bear with me. We're going to go to Art and Illustration up here at the top and 1080p. So if you guys are on an older version of Photoshop like CS5 or CS4, CS 3, 2, 1, your width has to be 1920, height has to be 1080, resolution you can use 72 or 300. Just know that the higher the number, the better the quality you're going to have, less pixelated backgrounds. So we're just going to hit create here. And as you can see, there's the resolution of 1920 by 1080. So the background is white. So the first thing that I always do in my document is I always go to the background layer. You're going to see your layers here over to the right side of your Photoshop. You can see that there's a little lock symbol on there. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to double click the layer, and you're going to see this pop-up window that says new layer. Just to hit OK. And as you can see, it's changed it to where it says layer 0. You can actually change this. So I'm just going to double click onto it, go background. Okay, so that's the bottom layer. Now, when we do this, I'm basing it off of the 3DS. Okay, so there's a top screen, there's a bottom screen. So we're just going to go select. We're going to hit all. As you can see, it's selecting the entire window here. We're going to want to go to copy. Now, this is going to allow us to copy that same... Sorry, I'm trying not to sneeze. It's going to copy that same resolution. Now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to Edit. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen here. Edit and Paste. And that gives us 2 layers. All right, so you're going to see the second layer is called Layer 1. If we double click onto that layer, I'm on the wrong monitor. We're going to call this 3DS top screen. Now the 3DS doesn't do 1920 by 1080 for resolution. What I do with my videos is I stretch it so that way I get more of the top screen in my footage. So we now have our top screen. The bottom screen is basically a square. So what we want to do is we want to go to File and New. Just bear with me a sec there, guys. File and New. There we go. And we're going to want to create another document. Now, this is going to be 800, I think, by 600, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there we go. So we got our bottom screen here. So we are going to go select all, edit, and copy. Now we have two different documents open here. We have our first one and our second one. So we go to the first document and we're doing Control V or edit and paste. And we're going to label that 3DS bottom screen. All right, so we've got three main layers so far. We have our background, we have our 3DS top screen, and our bottom screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the colors here of this background, not background, sorry. I'm on the wrong monitor. I apologize, guys. We are going to color the top screen and the bottom screen black. So you can select your color over here, and as well you can select your paint bucket here on the left. So right now I'm selected on the top screen. So as you can see, the background has gone black right now. And in order to change the bottom screen, we have to select 3DS bottom screen, and we just left click. You just paste it. So now we need to adjust the sizes of our screens so that way we can place them properly on the layout. So we're going to click onto the 3DS top screen, and I'm going to do Control-Alt-T. It's a keyboard command, Control-Alt-T. As you can see, it's allowing us to select the top 3DS screen. Now, what you want to do is we're going to be adjusting it. Now, if you see here, if we just take it, we can mess up the sizes. So up at the very top of the screen, there's a little paper clip. I call it a paper clip. It's probably not a paper clip, but it's called Maintain Aspect Ratio. You're going to want to click onto this so that way when you adjust it, the 3DS screen goes the proper size. All right, so we're going to just move this over to here. And that's really weird. We have two copies. Don't know why. And for the bottom screen, Control-T. And we can move that as well. Make sure you hit the Maintain Aspect Ratio. And as you can see, we've now just adjusted the top screen and the bottom screen onto our layout. All right, so that's kind of the basics on how you can get the top screen and the bottom screen there. We are then going to add stuff to the background and change all the colors and add borders and all sorts of things. I apologize, I'm having a coffee while I'm doing this. So yeah, we have our top screen and we have our bottom screen. Now what I usually like to do is I like to adjust things slightly so that way we have the proper borders on each side. So what I do is you just basically adjust things to the way that you want them and the sizes that you want them, so that way everything looks eye-pleasing. So as it is right now, we've got everything pretty well lined up for the top screen and the bottom screen. However, it's very possible that when you're using an older version of Photoshop, that you won't have them lined up exactly perfect. So as you can see on the left here and at the top, there's like a ruler. If you click on the ruler and drag down, you get these lines. And these lines will create a blue border or a blue line or an outline where we have our top screen and our sizes. So what I like to do is I like to try to line everything up. So that way, if I want to put anything on the exact same section, I can. So as you can see, I just kind of go around and outline all of my areas. Now, if you guys are really looking at the video, the top part of my border is not perfectly lined up. So I'm actually going to zoom in. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more actually so you guys can see this. If I go in by 400% and scroll up, you can see it's not perfect. So you can actually continue to adjust those blue lines. So you can literally click and drag them anywhere as you want. Just try to line it up exactly on it as best as you can. You can go in closer to, like if you go 600%, you can see that there's a grid that comes up. Really no need to go in that close, but you can if you'd like. Ooh, I gotta zoom out even further. All right, so we are right now 60% zoomed in. And as you can see, we got our top screen, we got our bottom screen lined up exactly the way we needed it. So then we need to start adding in some of our graphics. So what I like to do, to be honest with you, I like to go to Google, and I just realized my fourth monitor is not even turned on. Just give me one sec. Just waiting for the TV to turn on here. Somehow my Google Chrome actually defaults directly to that. 1 second here. Just gonna go to Google. All right, so we're gonna just have Google here. We're gonna look for a wallpaper. Now that's gonna be used as our background. Let's look for a ultra sun, ultra moon. Let's look for the region. So we just go to Google Images, and as you can see, we've just found our map. So we just open it. All right, so there's the background. We're gonna go to save that picture, and we're gonna save it to my documents just because it's easy. And then I'm gonna just put that into Photoshop. Boom. So there we go. We've got the Alola background into our background. I'm just going to adjust it here so that way we get it to cover all of the white area here. So here we go. Just gonna say yes. So that's gonna cover the entire area of our background. Now, as you can see in this video here right now, it's actually our top layer. So right now our bottom layer and our bottom layers consist of the 3DS bottom screen and the 3DS top screen and our background. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just drag this down. As you can see, I've just put it behind the 3DS top and the bottom screen. Okay, so you really have to utilize your layers. The layers are the most important part here. If you don't get them positioned properly, you're not going to see everything you want to be on top. All right, now there is a bit of a trick here. If, let's say, this isn't positioned exactly how you want it, if you go Control T, okay, as you can see, it's put the layer back there. The bigger the picture, the more you can angle the actual picture. So as you can see, we can actually rotate it, and we can actually increase it or decrease it. In this scenario here, I've actually just made it a bit bigger. Just gonna keep adjusting it until the point where I get what I want in the actual picture. Now I really like the clouds actually. The clouds are pretty cool, but I want to have the main islands, some of the main islands into this. So it's just a matter of rotating things to the point where you get what you want in the picture. So I think that looks kind of okay there. Just move it over here slightly. I think Mount Lanakila needs to be in the picture a little bit more. And we're just going to make it a little smaller here and position it a little bit better. So that's just the way you do things. You just kind of rotate them to the point where you get them in the picture. And there's a couple of other things you can do as well. Let's say we want our background color to be, let's say, oh shoot, this is on the other screen. So you just click onto this here and it comes up. You can select the colors you want. Let's say we want it to be kind of like an orangey color. Let's choose a real orange. So right now our color that we're going to paint is orange. So if I turn off our background color and I paint the bottom layer, so I paint our background color orange. If we turn back on the Mount, or not the Mount Lanakila, but if we turn on the Alola map, we just double click it. Let me see here. No, that's wrong. Just select it. Up at the very top here, you can choose how you want it to be affected by the background color. So right now it's on normal. We can set it to darken, multiply, color burn, linear, darken. We can just keep going through this. We can hard light it. But I usually like to go down to luminosity just because it keeps the quality of the picture there, but it changes the color. Now you don't have to do this. This is just an option. I'm just showing you how you can utilize the different features. I'm just going to turn off the background because, to be honest with you, it didn't look as cool as I thought. So I'm just going to turn that off, and I'm going to change it back to normal just because. Now, let's say this is our background. Okay, we have the Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon map layout there. Let's say we want to finalize what it is. actually, we'll get to that in a little bit. You probably want to put in your team, actually, in this scenario. So what I like to do, I like to take the bottom 3DS screen, I right-click onto it, and I duplicate it. So if we duplicate the layer, I'm going to call this Pokemon 1. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to move the box, Control-T it. I'm going to make sure it stays the same size. I'm going to put our team in. So it's literally just adjusting the boxes. That's all it is. Just adjust the boxes to the sizes that you want. And what I like to do, let's see here. Somehow my ruler's disappeared. You see how we have the border there? I'm actually going to try to get the same sizing. I'm just eyeballing this right now. So there we go. And I'm just going to move this box into position. I don't think we're going to get all 6 in here, so I have to adjust it to the sizing that I think we can use. Might be able to get away with this. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep duplicating. And we're just going to keep moving them into place. Now I want to try to keep the exact same spacing and the exact same sizing, because if you have everything lopsided and it's not the same sizing, it's going to look goofy, to be honest with you, and you don't want that. Okay, I'm going to duplicate the 2 layers at the same time. Let's see. Ooh, we might be a little too big. Might be too big. Yeah, we're totally too big. Oh yeah. Okay, so we're gonna make them a little smaller here, actually. Oop. So Control Z is your best friend. Control Z will undo anything that you do. If you click onto, let's say you want to readjust everything the exact same size, just click onto the first layer, go to the other one. So these are all our Pokemon tiles. Hold Shift and click. So click on the first one, and click the last layer, and then Control T. And this is actually going to let you readjust everything. Just a little bit more. Just adjust them down. And of course we've got them in the proper spacing here. It's a little bit bigger than what I thought with the top screen. We're not going to be able to change that really. You can try to readjust everything around to how you want it. But I wouldn't worry too much in regards to that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to Google, and we're going to look for Pokemon Ultra Sun logo. We're going to look for what's called a PNG file. So put PNG in there and go to Images. Now, if we take a look, click onto the first image, you see how it kind of takes out the white background? Although this is absolutely amazing. I'm going to save this as well because that is freaking cool. But yeah, you're going to want to try to find the logo. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to find the logo for Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon. Doesn't matter which one. It all depends on which Let's Play you're going to do. Let's see here. That's really small. Go to More. Go to Settings. Actually, we're going to try to see if we can find a large image of Ultra Sun's logo. That's Pokemon Sun. Wrong button. We might only have to be able to. We might only be able to use that actually. It's Pokemon Sun. Of course, the one time you really. Ooh, what is that? Ooh, I'm gonna save this because that looks friggin' badass. We really want to find that logo. Now, the other place you can also go is DeviantArt. So let's go to DeviantArt.com, and what we're gonna do is we're going to put Pokemon Ultra Sun logo, because you can find pretty well anything on DeviantArt, and boom, there we go. We've got a awesome logo. Let us save this logo. We're also going to do the Ultra Moon as well. I'm going to make 2 different layouts here. All right, so Ultra Sun. Boom. Put that in there. We're also going to put in the Ultra Moon one. Because essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this file with you guys. So that way you guys have it. So we're going to just turn off the Ultra Moon logo. And we're going to readjust the Ultra Sun logo. Again, make sure that you put this into the proper resolution. And here we go. Now this is a really old school method of doing a video layout. I used to do this back when I did Black 2 and White 2. Now I'm going to show you here, we can add different effects now. So this background right now has no effects in it whatsoever, just as the background, the top screen, the bottom screen, and the team preview. So where it says Pokemon Ultra Sun logo, I'm just going to double click it. And that's going to pop up the layer style window. Now what I like to do is I like to add drop shadows to a lot of my things. So if you can see in the video, you can see when I click drop shadow, look at the Ultra Sun logo. You see how it puts kind of like a black shadow behind it? That is probably the most awesome style you can actually add to it. It kind of makes it pop out to your eyes. So the opacity, we're just going to bring it up, but we're going to take this down just a little bit. You just adjust it to how you like it, and that looks pretty freaking cool right there now. So I think I might adjust it a little bit bigger than it is, because it seems kind of small there. And I just want to keep it within that border. We don't want to make it any bigger than it already is, because what's going to end up happening is it's going to take away from the background. So we just have just enough of the background there to really make it pop. The next thing I want to do is we're going to add a picture of the Solgaleo Necrozma, if I can find it. So let's see here. Necrozma. Oh, there we go. Nicki Minaj. Hilarious. Necrozma Solgaleo. PNG. So we're going to look for the actual picture of Solgaleo. Where are we here? That's not as cool. That's kind of cool. So let's save this image. It's all about getting those images, guys. Now I'm going to do something a little different, so you can see that I'm still clicking onto my my picture that I'm dragging in. I'm just going to make it a new image file. Because there's two Pokemon here in this picture, we only want the one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this option here. This option here is the rectangular mark tool. We're just going to select around the Pokemon. Going to go to edit and copy. Go back to our first image and Control V or edit and paste. As you can see, it's actually adding the Pokemon in here. We're going to try to make it show up behind the logo. I'm going to see if this looks okay, because sometimes it doesn't. Not all Pokemon look cool behind their logos. Yeah, that's okay. It looks kind of cool there. It's got a weird white logo, white visual behind it. I'm going to see if I can maybe mimic that for the logo. So for my drop shadow, I can actually choose the coloring of it. If I change it to a white color, it might pop a little bit better. And it doesn't seem to be really doing anything. Oh, there we go. Change it to normal. Let me get different effects. Oh, it added interesting... There we go. That's a little bit better. Again, you pretty well have to play around with it to get it to look the way you want it. That actually looks kind of cool because it's got like a white drop shadow, which is kind of neat. And that looks kind of cool, actually. One thing you could also do as well, if you think the Solgaleo is a little bit too big, you can always make it actually just show up right behind the logo instead. And that actually looks even cooler there, actually. Now, let's say I want to have the exact same drop shadow as I do the logo. If I click onto the logo and I go to copy layer styles. I go back. Oh, I'm gonna Necrozma Solgaleo. There we go. If I right click and go to paste layer style, the Solgaleo picks up the exact same layer style as the logo. So as you can see, we've just merged Solgaleo, Necrozma, and the Ultra Sun logo together. Now, it's up a little bit high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the two layers. I'm actually going to drop down the two so that way it's still within the area. Now, I think I'm going to line it up. There we go. So now we've got Solgaleo, the Necrozma. I'm going to call it Solgaleo, guys. I apologize. It's Necrozma. So we've got that and the logo there together. So you can start seeing the actual layout coming together, right? Now, I use a green screen for my camera. All right, so I am going to... What am I going to do here? I'm going to take the green screen off of my camera for just a moment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to screenshot. Now, you guys can't do this really right here, but I'm going to add myself to the layout because why not, right? Let me see here. There we go. Hopefully I got that screenshot. I totally didn't get that screenshot. Why? Oh, my buttons are all goofed up. I know, I'm doing this on the fly, guys. There's really no script to this. I'm going to just make myself bigger here. There we go. Got my screenshot. You guys won't be able to do this right away, but just to show you guys how I do things is I do everything with a green screen. I'll show you a little bit about that maybe in this video, but I won't complicate it too much. I'm just going to drag myself into a new screen. All right. This is kind of funny, actually. Copy. Paste. All right, so I'm going to show you guys exactly where I'm going to be sitting with my green screen in effect. So this is roughly where I would be. Select, deselect. Go. So I've got myself there, which is pretty freaking cool. Just gonna drop my shadow, change it back to black. And I'm doing something you guys haven't actually seen yet, just because at this point I can't handle that that green background. All right, there we go. So this is where roughly your screen's going to go, or your green screen. If you guys don't have a green screen, I highly recommend you get one, because to be honest with you, it's friggin' badass to have one. You can do so many things with it. It works super well. So we've got myself. This is where you're going to put your camera. If you guys have a green screen. If you guys don't have a green screen, get one. It's awesome. I got one on Amazon. It was about $100, but I got the lamps and everything with it. Really, really awesome kit. All right, so you've got your camera there. You've got your logo. You got your top screen, your bottom screen. I'm going to do what's called creating a group. So down in the bottom right corner here, you see that there's a little folder. This is group number 1. So I'm going to call this 3DS screens. So we're going to start organizing this here. So I'm actually going to drag the bottom screen to 3DS screens. Same thing with the top screen. And we are going to put it back down here. Background. Boom. Oh. And I'm going to start cutting this up, guys. We're going to start putting things into perspective here. I'm going to delete that one. Pokemon tile. Oop, that's a group within a group. That's not what I'm trying to do. Oh shit, we started deleting shit. Ah, why did I do that? Don't click delete too many times, guys. I don't do what I just did. This is Pokemon Team. So we're going to take clip number 1 to 5, drag it into Pokemon Team, and we're going to put this above the 3DS screen. Oh. There we go. Oh, that's a group within a group. Not what I wanted to do. There we go. And this one is going to be called Logos. Oh. There we go. So then we can take these and put them into logo. As you can see, it's just cleaning up the document. Yep, that's a layer. I'm going to call this Angel Cam. And we're going to put that into Angel Cam. So you can see we've now got everything all grouped up. So background, we have our background, 3DS top and bottom screen. The Pokemon Team, I'm going to start calling this. This is Pokemon 2. This one's Pokemon 3. This one should be Pokemon 4. This one's Pokemon 5. And this one here is Pokemon 6. Alright. You can see that they're all disappearing. Alright, so the biggest thing that we're going to work on right now is we're going to work on the top and the bottom screens. Alright, so first thing I like to do, I'm trying to think how I'm going to go about this without making it extremely difficult for you. So I'm going to actually select all of these. So Pokemon Team and 3DS screens. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the magic wand here. I'm pretty sure that's the magic wand. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start... Oh. Okay, I'm actually going to have to do these individually. I'm going to duplicate our background, just in case you guys decide to change it up later on. We're going to hide one of them. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the bottom screen layer. I'm going to click the magic wand into the box. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Ultra Sun Map Background Edit. And what I'm going to do... Oh, crap. Okay, wrong thing. Sorry. I cannot delete the request because smart object... Okay, I know what I did wrong. We need to convert that smart object. And we need to rasterize the layer before we can delete. So now you can click into here, go back to here and hit delete. And if we take away the bottom screen, you can see that there's a translucent background behind it. We're going to do the same thing for the top screen. Click onto the top screen layer, go to the top screen, click the magic wand inside, go back to the Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon Map Background Edit and hit delete. And if we turn off the 3DS top screen, you can see that it's translucent as well. So we're going to do this for all of the Pokemon layers. We're going to go back to the Ultra Sun map, delete, 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 delete. Oh, we need to go to number 5. Delete, and delete. So now if we turn off the Pokemon Team, see everything's translucent, which is awesome. So now what we need to do is we need to go back to those layers. We're going to turn those layers back on for a moment. All right. So now what I like to do is I like to put a white layer around it. So I go to stroke. And I make it a white stroke. So you can see now it's adding a white border around it. You can choose how thick you want the border to go. I usually go to about roughly 5. I find 5 gives you just enough of a border. So you're going to want to do that to your top screen and your bottom screen. And then you're going to want to go back to Pokemon Team. And you're going to want to do it there too. Because that's going to keep it roughly the same. Paste. 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 And paste. Alright, so we've got our background edited. We've got the white layers around everything. Okay. So now what I like to do is I like to duplicate everything. I duplicate everything, guys. I save every file. Alright, so I'm going to call this original. Because you guys can move these around later if you guys want. That actually looks pretty frigging badass for a layout. I'm not going to lie. I'm actually pretty pumped up about that. It looks amazing. Okay, we're going to do the same thing for the Pokemon team. Pokemon 1, original. Pokemon 2. Pokemon 3. Okay, Pokemon 6, original. And then what I like to do is I like to duplicate them. Okay. Oh, actually, you know what I could have done? Duplicate the group. Boom. So we got the group duplicated. So this is the duplicate. We're actually going to call this Pokemon Team Outlines. So I'm actually going to merge these layers. So if we select them all, we can right-click one and go to Merge Layers. And this way, it's all one file. See how that did that? What we can do then is I'm actually going to click in the black areas. And I'm actually going to delete the black out of them. And the reason being is that it's now given us a white border around our cutout area. And if we double click it, we can also add a drop shadow. You guys probably won't be able to see this on YouTube very well, but oh wow, that actually made it weird. Oh, the distance, that's why. We just changed the distance down to maybe 4. And the size of it, we just increase it slightly. And we can just adjust it however we can. Oh, you know what? That's not going to work. Sorry. We have to go to the Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon background and actually add the drop shadow there. That's what we got to do. See, it's going to add the background drop shadow, but it's not going outside of the white borders. All right, click OK. Now we need to duplicate the 3DS screens. So we're going to duplicate the group. Original. We're going to turn off the original screens. And what we're going to do is we're going to add the borders around the top and the bottom screen. So I'm going to copy the layer styles from the original Pokemon Team group. We're going to paste it. And we are going to paste this. Oh, we've already done the strokes. Okay, my bad. We're going to delete them then. My bad, guys. I must not be paying attention. I forgot that I had already done that. Let me see here for a sec. Sorry, what I have to do is I have to convert them, actually. Once we got the strokes in, I have to convert them so I can edit them. So we're going to convert that to a smart object. Convert to a smart object. Oh. There we go. So now we can select just the black screen, and I can delete it once I rasterize it. My bad. And I need to rasterize that layer. So layer, select, deselect. All right. So that is the layout. Now, if I add a new layer, I put it just here. I'm just going to color that black for a moment, or like a gray. You guys will see the effects here. Let's see. All right, so you can see the drop shadows a little bit clearer here. Now, in this scenario, my layouts are a little bit different than most because I use the animated tiles for the Pokemon. Don't worry, you won't have to worry about that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add kind of like a Pokeball image behind these. So I actually have a picture. Let me see here. See if I can find it. Pokeball wallpaper PNG. And there's usually some really good Pokeball wallpapers here, such as this. This is the one that I actually use for my scoreboard a lot, actually. So I'm going to put this into Photoshop here as well. Oh. Drag and drop failed, my bad. Select all, edit, and copy. Now, what I do in this scenario is I'm going to have to create a new group. We're going to call this Pokeballs because obvious reasons. If we go to the background. All right, so where it has the Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon map, the one that we edited, we're going to select it and click into the box. We're going to go edit, paste into. So what this is going to do is it's going to post the actual wallpaper in, and we're just going to adjust it down to the size that we need. So as you can see here, it's a little bit big. But there we go. And we just put that into the Pokeballs category. So we just have to adjust them to the proper sizing that we need. And use your rulers, guys. Your rulers are going to help you keep everything. Oh, that's up a little too high, actually. Oh, actually, maybe not. Maybe increase it just a little bit. There we go. Done. And we're just going to try to keep this roughly the same size. It will be a difficult thing to do, but eventually you'll get it figured out. Now, of course, we can't just duplicate layer 3, which is Pokeball 1, because it's actually pasted into a certain area. So we actually have to do that for each individual category. So number 2, edit, paste into. And there's a reason why I put those layers there, because this is going to allow us to keep the same sizing. And as you can see, we are just having to eyeball it a little bit. Sometimes you have to readjust things. It happens, guys. Okay, so this is Pokeball 2. And it's going to get really interesting here soon. how we actually do this, because when you use XSplit, a little different. It's kind of a different program that most people don't really know how to use. I don't know if that's... Oh, there we go. And again, you just have to adjust things the proper way. I don't know if that's the same sizing or not. It kind of looks like an optical illusion to me. Anyway, when you've edited as many photos as I have, you kind of get used to the hang of editing your graphics. So until you guys actually do this on your own, it's going to be complicated for you, but you just have to learn it. Down a little bit. Sorry, if I go back, it's because I'm looking at it from further back. Now the alternative actually, if I really wanted to get down to it, I'll show you a different method on how to do this. Actually, I could have done that actually. But anyways, that's kind of how you do that. If you select the area, okay, in the ultra-sun and ultra-moon area, go to Edit and Copy. Let me see here. Edit, Cut, File, and New. Usually what it does is it allows you to create a image based on the size of that tile. So you can see it's 209 by 216. And if I go, not Control V, sorry, copy this, Control V, we can actually adjust it and have it the same throughout. That's probably the easiest way to do it. There we go. Boom. Might move it up a little bit, but for the most part, I'm actually going to try to see if we can find the center of that tile. See if I can line up the center. There we go. Select all, edit, and copy. So now we can actually do this a lot easier. I should have just done that in the beginning. Edit. Oh, edit. Paste into. Edit. Paste into. Edit. And paste into. Edit and paste into. Edit, paste into, edit, and paste up. There we go. So now we need to take all those Pokeballs and put them in the bottom group. So you can see that there's now a drop shadow behind it. All right, so that layout is pretty well done. What's going on here? Okay. Just gonna be one moment there, guys. Just adding a tag to this here. There we go. And I'm just gonna find the center of my layout. Just going to move that to the center. There we go. Don't like that font. There we go. That way it's not too overpowered. All right, so now let's say you want to utilize this layout. So first thing I got to do is I got to save this. So we're going to save this as Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon layout, but we're going to save it as a PNG file. I'll just give it a moment. My hard drives are a little slow sometimes. All right, so we're going to save that as a PNG. Now it's going to pop up a little notification here. Just click OK. All right, so we got OK. So this is how our layout's going to look when we use it in either Sony Vegas or in the XSplit. Okay, so the first thing we've got to do is we got to save it in individual layers, because what happens is that if you add a picture or a file into it, you want to put your background to your game into it, it needs to be a translucent background, and of course where we got our Pokeballs, we're going to want to put Pokemon ahead of it. So we're going to take out layer 2 because layer 2 doesn't need to exist. I'm going to save that actually, and we're going to save this in different layers. So we've got everything kind of grouped up here. I'm going to take out the Angel Cam because you guys don't need the Angel Cam there. One sec here. Okay, so first thing we got to do is we got to take out the Pokeballs. So this is going to be one image on its own. So we're going to save this as the Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon layout background. Done. All right, so we're going to save that as a PNG, and we're going to save it also as a, sorry, that's PSD. We're going to save it as a PNG. So select the PNG layer and hit save. Now you're going to get a pop-up here, and this is asking about compression. So just select none because it'll be fast, and just hit OK. Now that's going to save it as the full quality of that layout. The next thing we want to do is we want to get the Pokeballs. So we've got to turn off all of these other layers and just turn on the Pokeballs. So we're going to save this as, a PNG as well. And we're going to call this Pokeballs. That way we know exactly what it is. And again, hit OK. So right now our layout is actually finished. What I'm going to do though is I am going to go back in and add the logo for Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, because we want it to be roughly the same, so that way you guys can choose what you guys would like to do. So we're going to make this the same size. Just a second here, guys. I want to make sure that we have everything complete with the layout before we go further. We're going to copy the layer style, paste. All right. Oh, Ultra Moon is still a little too small. There we go. It's also a little bit different too, so bring that up just slightly. And we also need the Lunala Necrozma. So we need to copy. I apologize, guys. I forgot to deal with this when we were in here. There we go. And we're going to put this underneath. Now, it's a little bit different, so we're actually going to change the way it is slightly. And we are going to paste the same layer style. There we go. I'm going to save that actually. All right. So there's a layout for Ultra Moon as well. Let me just resave some things. Oh. I'm just going to resave this as the Ultra Moon. And we don't have to redo the Pokeballs. Oh, I forgot. Shoot. My face was still there. That's not cool. Moon background. And yes, okay. All right, guys, as you can see, we've got the layout all together here just on how it's supposed to look. This is just from an XSplit point of view. Of course, this recording has it all pieced together layer by layer. So what you want to do is you want to have your background layer as your top layer of your layout. Of course, put your camera above the background. I'll show you guys here just kind of how I did that. I'm going to just screen cap it. But as you can see, we've got the different layers. So the desktop region, of course, is what you're seeing here right now, as you guys can see it flicking. Sparkle Cam is my DSLR webcam. Ultra Moon background, that is your background layer. And then, of course, we've got Alola Vulpix. We've got all your Pokemon listed here. They have to be under the background layer, but above the Pokeball layer to be able to get the proper effect. Desktop region, I don't know what that is. And then, of course, underneath the Pokeball layer, I've got our DS layers. So you can see the top screen and the bottom screen. So that's just the idea of how the layout is actually built. In the future, I'm going to try to make an XSplit tutorial on how to utilize XSplit. Also, as well, I'm going to try to make a tutorial on how to use Sony Vegas. If you guys are looking to use open broadcast software, unfortunately, I'm not familiar with that software, so I will not be bringing any kind of a tutorial for open broadcast software, but XSplit and Sony Vegas will give you guys the idea on how to build your layouts in your videos or in your stream, so that way you can use them properly. I'm sure there's a lot of other options to make your layout or how to build your layout. But this is the way that I've learned. This is the way I've done it for the past 10 years on YouTube. Wow, it seems like forever, to be honest with you. I've been on YouTube for quite a while. I haven't always been Angel of the Night 091. I've been True Games HD. I've been Master C. I've been so many different channels. I've been doing this for a very long time. If at any time anybody has any questions on how to YouTube or how to stream or how to screen capture or anything at all, if you guys need any help, please reach out. I am there if you guys need it. I have always made it my goal to help as many people as possible. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video there today. If you guys did enjoy it, go ahead and leave a like. Post a comment if the tutorial has helped you guys out. Share the tutorial. You know, if you guys think this will help out many new Twitch streamers or YouTubers, I'm really glad if it does help you guys out. Also as well, be sure to pop on to the Discord server, Snowpoint Temple. Snowpoint Temple is my online Pokemon battling community, but it is so much more than just a battling community. It is a community that is there for you if you guys need anything. So if you guys are looking for a specific Pokemon, need help with a graphic, need help with like streaming, looking for a battle, anything at all, be sure to pop onto the server, guys. All right, take care. Hope everybody had an awesome day there today, and peace out.